to take a moment to review a few housekeeping items. All attendees are in listen-only mode, so if you have a question at any time throughout the webinar, please submit it via the dashboard, and we'll take those questions at the end. I also want to mention that this webinar is being recorded, and you should receive a link to the recording and the slide deck within 48 hours. Today we have our lead designer, Tila Hall, joining us to talk about how custom design plays an important role in the success of your website, including 6 things you can do to stand out from your competition. So Tila's got her slides up, ready to go, and I think she's going to take it from here.
Thanks, Alicia. Hi, everybody. Great to have you guys here. All right. I'm going to keep the agenda pretty short. We're going to start with the website's design best practices here. So I picked this quote because Steve Jobs explains the 6 pillars of success in a sentence that I will talk about in the next slide. The bottom line is that your site doesn't just need to look good, it also needs to function. It's very important. So a successful website should be comprehensive, functional, accessible, current, visually appealing, and usable. And what I mean by comprehensive, your website should focus on what you want the users to do. The call to action is so important, however, it's up to you to decide what the best CTA is for your firm. So do you want your clients to call you, email you, subscribe to your newsletter, register for your portal, fill out a form? Any of those things, you will want to know what is the best for your firm. It should remove any roadblocks so clients can easily get in touch with you. Keep your website simple, eliminating anything that does not serve a purpose. For example, maybe rethinking having a weather widget or other widgets. Use visible and easy to find call to actions. Everything should have a purpose. Content should be straightforward, solve problems quicker and effectively. The next is functionality. Your site should obviously be working correctly and be organized correctly on all browsers and operating systems. There are broken link checkers that I will share with you after this slide's over, and so you don't feel like you need to check all the links manually. The functionality of your site should be smooth without any awkward glitches. Sometimes adding third-party widgets could affect how other items work. Best practice is to quality check your site after implementing any change or adding any type of script. Some quick tips: make sure the load time of your site pages are optimized, your forms and links are working properly, and everything is running smoothly without any glitches. And really make sure you have a practical and organized and easy to use navigation. The next thing we want to make sure is your website is accessible on all different types of devices. It should be understandable for your target audience and search engine friendly content. It should also be robust for screen readers. Your website should also be very current. Your site should be up to date and maintained regularly. That's what the webmasters at CPA Site Solutions are for. Any outdated elements such as Flash and tables, those should be updated as well. You also want to succeed in the web-based standards. Use the latest kind of trends and the styles, and your site should be using the most supported, updated technology. If you have any questions at the end of this, we'll definitely take a look at your site and make sure that's the case. Your site should also be beautiful. It should be visually appealing. Research shows that you have a maximum of 12 seconds to catch someone's attention with your website. So make sure your site is personalized and clear of clutter. Use a meaningful imagery. Keep your clients engaged with location imagery. Avoid visual clutter and try to personalize your site to match your brand. And the last thing would be usable. Your site should be simple and easy to use and useful tools with useful tools and content. There's user-friendly tools such as calculators, Make sure you have really well-written and readable content, and allow clients to contact you easily. So the next thing I really want to do is break down a successful website, so you might want to take notes on this section. There are 7 key pieces of a layout to a website that requires some thoughtfulness. So your header, a call to action, a navigation, a slideshow, perhaps a static image is fine too, content, sidebar, and a footer. So here is a good example of a site that we have. As you can see, the header is the logo area. Your eye tends to go to the left, so it's very common to have your logo on the left-hand side. The navigation should be clear and concise. The home button is actually not necessary because your logo should lead back to your home page. We will talk about basic page recommendations later. The slideshow or the static image should really reflect your services, location, or your brand in some way. Images should be thoughtful, like what type of imagery goes with your firm. And your call to action could be a phone number or a form. It could be social media links or a particular tool as well. It's your choice to decide what the most important point of contact is. This site in particular, you can see that it has 2 call to actions. It has a subscribe to newsletter and also has a schedule a free consultation. Your content, for number 5, your content should be well written, on topic, and SEO friendly. And also, even though a sidebar is not necessary, it's a great place to put widgets like a countdown to a tax deadline or featured articles. It also splits up your long text. It's much easier to read shorter paragraphs rather than paragraphs stretched full width. And your footer should be the closing of your site. A great place for login buttons and other widgets are fine too. And next we'll talk about the 4 ways we can personalize your site for free. First, we want to strategize your site, organize, personalize, and customize. And when I talk about strategize, I'm really talking about creating a plan and mapping out a roadmap tailored to your target audience. And when I'm talking about organization, arrange your site for best usability and your user experience. And when we're talking about personalizing, we're going to talk about adding free personal touches to build your trust and credibility. And then next would be custom design. Design your template to stand out and match your brand. Now, for strategizing, do you want to attract your clients to, do you want to attract new clients, or do you want to educate your prospect clients? Basically, we want to create a website that works towards those goals. This tip covers making a plan. You will want to figure out who your users are and who you are competing with in your area. You can start making a plan by answering or thinking about these 3 questions. Where is your firm now? Where do you want it to be? Who are you talking to? And one more question, sorry. What do you want your users to do? Make it easy for your users to contact you or use your client retention tools such as calculators, tax center, etc. Don't bury your lead. It's also important to note that writing and planning out your content for your audience is important. You may have heard the saying, content is king. Your site style with CPA Site Solutions comes with over 3,000 pages of ready-to-go content. But you might need to make some tweaks to better target your personal audience. When writing your content, ask yourselves, maybe are they corporate? If so, maybe write copy that suits a more professional audience by using more formal language. If your audience is young and trendy, maybe write in more informal conversational copy that holds their attention. Now, checking out other accounting-based websites may give you inspiration on how you can improve. Make use of whatever you learn when you are researching your competitors. Look at the products or services they may provide, how they market them to customers, the prices, their brand, and their staff numbers. You can also ask your customers using surveys to figure out what they are hoping for your website. Your target audience is your clients or who you want your clients to be. If your target audience is people over 60, maybe you want to consider increasing your font size for better readability. Target audience is all about enhancing your customer loyalty, so concentrate on creating a site for your prospect clients or your current clients. And content is the key to your website, so make sure you refine it to fit your needs, using what you know about your clients and making sure you are using your content and retention tools that are useful to your clientele. For an example, as a client myself of an accountant, I use the calculator section all the time on my accountant site, mainly the how long will it take to pay off my credit card debt calculator. This would be considered a useful content tool for you, for your target audience, which would be someone like me. I also want to note that if you stay on topic with your content should just always serve a purpose. And creating a call to action, it is okay to give users options on how they would like to contact you. See on the right-hand side, you have a big click to call button. You also have a form to make it easy for clients to contact you. Your website, whatever your purpose is, make sure it's the most prominent item on your page. So if you really want people to pick up the phone and dial your number, maybe a big honking button like you see on the right-hand side is something you should do. And creating your roadmap should be a fun and thought-out process. If you use these 4 key pieces, your site will have a great start to success. Situation analyst, target audience, goals, and call to action. And next we'll talk about organizing your website. To organize your website, you will want to think about the order in which items are displayed. Structuring your site should be thought out. I highly recommend using the billboard approach with taglines where you can grab your client's attention in short phrases. Maybe structure your content above the fold so your users do not have to scroll down to see the most important information, and arrange your navigation effectively that makes sense to you. Make sure you have also the top-notch usability and the best client experience. And I will go into a little bit more detail in the next slides. So this example is a real accountant, and they do a great job showing the tagline in only 8 words. Your tagline should be placed in a visible location and one of the first things that you see. There are other great taglines that we can use, so like tax accounting is what we do best, you're busy enough for the rest, something catchy, or if maybe you're a bookkeeper, you could do books a mess, no problem, something like that. But basically you just want to be personal and make it short. For this example, you can see the call to action form above the fold. That describes, it also describes what the accounting is doing. On the left-hand side, you can read the content and where they are located. You can even see the social media icons and get quick access to the services. So keeping your important content above the fold, even if you have to squeeze a little bit in. And to organize your website content into logical categories, maybe using a restaurant menu is the best way to explain how to navigate your site. Most menus are usually divided into categories and subcategories. So if you're thinking about a restaurant, pastas go with the pastas and burgers go with the burgers. Very sensible. Your navigation should be in your client's best interest. It's recommended to create separate pages for each service. And also, in most cases, it's best to keep your navigation to no more than 3 levels deep. And some of the keys to usability. Well, visitors come to your site with certain goals in mind, and it is your job to help make sure they can reach their goals as quickly as possible. So usability really means to test, test, and test again. Good usability is not attained overnight, and you only perfect usability by listening to your clients and remembering what makes sense to you might actually not make sense to your client. So a couple of rules to a great user experience. Don't make the users think. Create quality forms. So going back to when we talked about call to actions, remember that white space is actually your friend. Keep your site interesting to your user. Make sure you know your goals and come up with a strategy before you figure out the design. Now here's a good example of a mobile-friendly site on the left-hand side, and then a non-mobile-friendly side on your right-hand side. If you are not already mobile-friendly, let's make sure we upgrade you to a new responsive design. So make sure your site has relative content. I know this is a website structured tips, some things that you should not do, and obviously there's some things that you really should concentrate on. So make sure your navigation is easy to find and short, and make sure you check your site over and over. Do not stuff your site with keywords. Google is very smart and will flag your site for it, and it also gives a bad impression when a human is trying to read your site. Also, make sure your site is your own. You do not want to be too matchy-matchy with a competitor. You really want to stand out. And next we'll talk about some free ways to personalize your CPA Site Solution site. And I don't want you to come across all stiff and boring by being too corporate. So show some personality, because people are people. Show that you're human by adding some personality to your website wherever possible. You can show where you are from and who you are. So here are some widgets that you can add to your site. Site Style 561 on our website shows all the widget add-ons you could add onto your template. Most of these are free to add to your site. Make sure to only use add-ons that are useful for your business. If you do not specialize in doing taxes, perhaps the countdown timer is not for you and you should replace with something that makes a little bit more sense. So only actually use your location if it's important to you. If you are targeting people in New York, maybe you should add some images of New York. Adding a map or using images or localization images that make sense for your firm. And so if location is not as important to you, showing your services might be. Pick what imagery works best for you. If you specialize in small business accounting or financial planning for startups, perhaps business photos or photos of ideal clients would be best to fit in your slideshow. Or perhaps you just want to show your personality. For example, going for humor is a great way to personalize your site. So you have showing your location, showing some personality, showing what you do, and showing your client who your clients are. And I think we got a quick question, and 561 is the site style that has all those widgets. All right, so adding the 5 core pages. So your 5 core pages every website should have is a home, about, services, customer reviews, and contact us. Personalize your contact. Keep content, keep your values in mind. Some people end up writing content that shows no value. Remember, websites should build trust and credibility. Keep your company values in mind and get them across in all your copy. We have default content for each of these pages. However, it will be awesome if you find time to personalize it. We have a new page called Reputation Management where your clients can add testimonials. Nothing adds credibility like a recommendation from one of your existing customers, or just adding testimonials to your website to reassure new visitors is a great idea as well. And the next thing we'll talk about is actually customizing your website. And we have a couple different packages that you could choose from, but your template does not just have to be a templated site. You can customize every aspect of it. We have the a la carte branding package, the use your own design, premium custom, and full custom design. And there are a couple of reasons that you should invest in your site. You should match your brand. You are a unique firm. Stand out from the crowd and attract the customers that you want. You also want to, of course, build some rapport. And for a small fee, you can adjust colors and fonts, or you can always change the color of your logo for free to match your template. A la carte service might be perfect for you if your site is almost perfect. We also have a use your own design package where if you hired an outside designer and you wanted to bring that design into our system and use our tools, our site manager is our site editing tool. It offers the flexibility to accommodate many different types of layouts. So one of our experienced HTML and CSS experts will translate your vision so that it integrates with our tools and content. The process usually takes about 5 to 10 days to complete, but it starts at like $6.95. And there's also premium custom design. This is a lot like a wireframe. You pick your template and we tweak it with a custom page and widgets. This is for you if you really want to custom your template a lot. And then we also offer a full package custom design that you can build from scratch. This process is a little longer, but awesome if you're interested in none of our templates, which that aren't really accomplishing what you're going for. And the next thing we'll talk about is a checklist for success. So for the first one, strategizing your roadmap. In order to do this, you really just want to answer the 4 key questions here. What do you want your users to do? Who is your users? So who is using your site? Who are you up against? And is everything on your site serving a purpose? And for linking your logo back to your homepage, did you know that you don't actually need to have the home item in your navigation? Your logo should link back to your homepage. This is best practice, so it should be doing that. Adding a 404 page. A good custom 404 page will help people find the information they're looking for, as well as providing other helpful content and encouraging them to explore your site further. We have a free default one that we can add for you. You can also request to add an XML sitemap. XML sitemaps are free and important for SEO because they make it easier for Google to find your site's pages. This is important because Google ranks web pages, not just websites. There is no downside of having an XML sitemap, and having one can improve your SEO, so we highly recommend them, and it's a free service. And adding the reputation marketing feature, I highly recommend you give it a shot. A positive client review is invaluable. This free add-on is available for all of our packages. All you have to do is add the page in your site manager or request it from your webmaster team. It also it allows you to remain in control of the client reviews, showcasing most positive reviews to your prospect clients. and choosing the widgets that make sense to you. If you would like to see all the widgets again, Site Style 561 shows every single widget we offer. And there is a list, we can email it to you. And creating a page for each service. By default, all your services have pages, but if you customize it, you may need to go back and rewrite this section for your page. Choosing or creating an appropriate tagline. You can choose your own tagline. Maybe something inspired you in this presentation. Running a spell checker on your website, you can actually go to, it's checkdog.com, CHECHDOG.com. You can run your site through a spell checker, so you don't have to check it page by page. Including links within your page copy. Including links is not only great for SEO, but it's also great for a user experience. You can also run a broken link checker. You can use brokenlinkcheck.com, or you can request a webmaster do that for you at support@cpasitesolutions.com. And make sure you have a mobile-friendly site. It is so important nowadays. Everybody has their phone on them at all times and browsing their web. So pull out your phone and check your site. Make sure everything is easy to click on. If you do have a mobile-friendly site, if you don't have a mobile-friendly site, let's upgrade you to one. And changing your default images. All of our templates come with default images, and you can customize them for free. As we mentioned in the personalizing section, if location is important, let's showcase where you're from. And including call to actions. So for your call to action, let's figure out what you want your users to do. Do you want them to use the portal? Do you want them to subscribe to the newsletter? It's your job to figure out really what you want your users to do when they visit your site. And personalizing your contact page. So customize your contact page, maybe add your hours, maybe imagery of your office. This is a really important page. Make sure you have a form on it, of course, so somebody can get in touch with you. And then, of course, create an about page. And this about page should kind of tell a story of who you are, who your firm is. And next, we just have a couple of these, a couple of our resources for you to check out, and we'll have a Q&A session after this, and I think Alicia will host that. So I hope you enjoyed.
Great, Tila. That was excellent, and there's been quite a few questions coming through. So I'm going to take this time to go ahead and read through some of these questions so we can get Tila's take on it. So Tila, one of the questions that we got early on was, do all pages of the website need to have a call to action? And if not, where's the best places to have a call to action?
Not every page needs to have a call to action. It is highly recommended that you do keep a call to action in the same spot on every single page. A lot of people put it in the top right in their header. Usually it's a phone number or a schedule a free consultation button.
Great. One of the other questions we got was, what is a 404 page? Can you clarify that?
Yes, so a 404 page is actually the page that somebody goes to if they accidentally click a link that is broken. What normally happens by default, if you don't have a custom 404 page, it takes you off your website, and it will give you this white ugly screen that says, oops, you've reached the wrong area. So our custom 404 page has kind of like a cute calculator, and obviously we don't want you to have broken links, but it does happen occasionally. So ours just has a calculator, and it kind of makes a little bit of a joke, oh, sorry, but you're still on your website, and they can still go back and figure out what they were trying to reach.
Great, yeah. Perfect. So let's see, there was a lot of buzz about the widgets page, which I think is great. Can So we mentioned that site style 561 is where people can go check out our widgets. So I just wanted to, it would be great if you could just show them how to see those, because there seems to be a little bit of curiosity around that.
Awesome. Yes, I have one of the 561 families up. This is actually 563. I only picked this one because it loads a little faster, because the other one has a video. But a widget could be these buttons here, how they do this little funky thing. It could just be the scrolling bar here. It can be let me see here, a schedule a free consultation pop-up. This is classified as a widget, or a subscribe to newsletter widget. It also has, it could be a countdown. It could be an FAQ section. It could be a featured articles section, which is highly recommended. Featured articles, this will refresh every month with new content, so this is really great to have on your homepage. And it could have a testimonial section like this. It can have a map. This is also considered a widget. A contact form. These are affiliation seals, and you can customize these to be your actual affiliations. And a portal login and a quick links over here. And I think that's all on this one. This one does use a lot. Oh, here's a portal login widget as well.
All right, excellent. Let's see here, what else do we have? Somebody is asking about customizing the slideshow. Is that something that you can access from our site manager, or does your webmaster team need to help you with that?
You do have access to edit yourself, but it would require knowing a little bit of HTML. Usually we recommend having the webmasters do it, and they'll also resize your imagery to fit your slideshow correctly. So a lot of people just end up emailing the attachments over to the support team, and they take care of it for you. But you can, if you know HTML, go ahead and do that. That's totally fine.
Let's see, we have a question about links to your social media pages. Do we have something that can be added to websites to help you with that?
We have, you can always add Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all those social media icons. I don't have a good example. This one obviously has it up here, but we also have a quick links panel is what we call it. And it is basically a sticky bar that sticks to your side of your website, and it has links to all those areas. You can also add, Facebook has a widget that will, it's a script, and it basically, we can add the widget to the site. It will show all your posts. It's not really popular to have it, but I mean, if you're really active on Facebook, I recommend doing that. Same with like buttons and stuff like that. And that can be found on Facebook, and I can share the link with you because I don't actually know it on top of my head.
Okay, yeah, and if there was some people asking also for the broken links checker and how to get to that, so maybe that's something we can send around when we send the slides and the recording for everybody as well.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's brokenlinkcheck.com. But we will send it to you as well. I think that would be a lot easier. Any other questions that were in there?
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, quite a few questions coming in here. There was one question about are our websites in WordPress, and the answer to that is no. Sheila, do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Okay, do you know what the actual question? We do offer a WordPress blog with our Platinum package. That is something that we can add to. Is this person asking if they have a a website already in WordPress and they want to move it over, or?
It says, are your websites in WordPress? So
Oh,
I think they
no,
mean
right.
I
No.
templates.
Yeah, no, we actually designed our own site manager. We do offer a WordPress blog, but no, our website are not.
Okay. And there's been some questions about embedding, embedding iframes or embedding links to a slideshow, and kind of what the difference between doing that would be versus if you were to put it onto your site.
Oh yeah, iframes are totally fine. They don't take a long time to load, so I would recommend iframes over scripts. That's fine. The map down here, this is an iframe. I think that's the only one that's an iframe here. But most of the time, you only embed it if you're using a third-party widget or something like that. Not really for content. Yeah, just for like a widget.
Okay, excellent. So there's, just so everyone knows, there's a couple other questions in here that I felt were pretty specific. So I'm going to go through and try to answer them to you guys privately. But I think as far as the broader questions for the group here, I think that we are good. If anybody has any last minute questions, I'm monitoring them right now. So go ahead and ping them to me, and otherwise we'll probably wrap up here. Kayla, that was a great presentation. I think that was very helpful. And, like I said at the beginning of this, we will be sending the slides and the recording of this webinar out to everyone. So if there's anything you need to revisit, or if you want to print out that checklist that Tila went over, that will be available in the slides.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.